Embracing change in the wake of loss. That's the title of today's video. And I've had this in my mind now for quite some time, probably close to a year. I've felt a change in me personally. And I think some viewers of this channel who have gone through something similar in the last months, or if not years, this may resonate with you. This may give you some peace of mind that it's not just you in this situation. So let me explain. As many of the regular viewers on this channel will know, I set this channel up at the beginning of this year, coming out the back of a job loss and also the loss of my father, my sole parent in my life. And so I felt that loss a lot. That would probably be an understatement. And I've shared a lot of that here. But I've also felt great change in myself. And I don't know if it's the fact that of going sober on alcohol that's given me more of a clarity of mind, recognising myself without the blurriness of booze in the mix. So that would be my first question about this topic. Has alcohol given me the clarity? Has grief given me the clarity? Is it an age thing that's given me the clarity? I don't know, maybe you can share your own experience. So what do I mean by all of this change? Well, last year when my father passed away, it was in May, right? I only had 2 things really booked for last year. We didn't plan a big holiday. We didn't really plan any kind of travel arrangements, but we had 2 music festivals to attend, both in the month of June. Now, when we booked those music festivals, it was booked a year previous. So we had a whole year pretty much to wait for it to come round. And when it did, the timing was impeccable because literally, probably within about a week or so, my father had passed away. And I was suddenly finding myself in the midst of dealing with funeral arrangements and seeing out his last wishes. Hey, how you doing? Seeing out his last wishes, left in his will on how to manage everything for him. So I was kind of working my way through that. But if you've ever been in that situation, you'll know that there's also periods of lull when nothing's really happening, where you're just left to sit around, kind of wait for things to advance. There's only so much that you can make happen in that situation. And so I was faced with having tickets to go to festivals, 2 festivals, with a large group of friends to both of them. And so I sat down with the decision of, what do I do? Do we cancel? Do we try and sell the tickets? Do we try and go? And there will be no perfect answer in this, and I use the music festivals just as an example. In your life, something will have come along that you'll have had to make a decision over. That could be work, could be a family event, could be a trip away, something. The timing will never be perfect when a family member passes away. There's just no easy answer to that. And so I found myself in this situation where I had these tickets and I thought, right, what do we do? And so Yvonne and I sat and we talked to family members about it. And in the end, we decided that we would go because we thought it would be a nice distraction from everything that was going on at that moment. And by everything that was going on, I mean the massive void hole that was left by my father departing and how we kind of navigated those next weeks and months. So we took the decision that we would go to the music festivals. Now, when I got there, all of my friends understood what had happened and they were just great at either supporting me, being around, or giving me some space, or just generally being good friends. So I've talked about this before, that I came away from those events with my cup full, feeling like I had a support network around me who just got it, who just understood, who knew me and knew the situation that I was facing and dealt with it with nothing more than just really solid compassion. But one thing that I didn't talk about from those events that I now want to discuss here was just how I felt at that festival. And the honest answer to that was nothing. I felt nothing. I felt a huge empty void in my stomach. And for the first time ever in my life, I recognised friends who had maybe lost a parent, had gone through loss. I suddenly understood their perspective in that situation and what they had been like, how they had conducted themselves post the passing of their family member. I have one specific friend in mind, and she's been a friend of my wife and I for many, many years. And I can remember the day that her father passed away, and me just not quite being able to really understand it until last year. And the best way that I can kind of describe it is like, it's a bit like a little bit of light in your eye, a little glint, just goes out and it doesn't come back. It doesn't come back. It's just like a little bit of your light source disappears. And at that point, your energy battery, your life battery is just depleted very, very slightly from the impact of that loss. Does that make some sense to you? That's how I kind of perceive it. So I stood at that festival and I watched great bands that I've loved and cared about, but suddenly I felt like I cared nothing for them. Anyway, we went through the two festivals and managed everything else that went along with it. But I noticed at that point that I felt like I had changed. And so when those festivals were done, one of them came up with the opportunity to book again. And Yvonne and I sat down and we said with friends, what should we do? And we all agreed that it would be a year later and that we should go and enjoy ourselves and maybe put the last year behind us, feel like we're in a different place. So we booked the tickets. We booked tickets for this year, one festival. That was essentially last week. And so we went to that festival last week, and I can say I had a good time. I had a good time there with friends. I really enjoyed hanging out, really enjoyed reconnecting, sharing some special moments and the enjoyment of being together with people that you enjoy spending time with. But do you know what hadn't changed in the space of that year? My enjoyment of the music, the bands, the kind of culture, the setting that went with it. At that point, it was for me to realise that even over a year later, I haven't rediscovered my passion for what was, at this point, a lifetime hobby and enjoyment of following bands and music. And it's not that I completely switched off to it. I just didn't get the same feeling inside my stomach and my gut and my heart that I had in previous years. And that felt like a big change to me. And so I was really processing that over last week and thinking about how to communicate it as a story here in a video. And it's not about the music, it's just about something that you love, that suddenly, or for some reason, you feel a change, and it's kind of embracing that change. So I enjoyed my time at the festival, and I said to my friends, I've had a great time here with you, but I feel like I'm done with this now, at least for the foreseeable future. Never say never, but I do feel like this has run its course for me and I'm ready for something different. And I'll tell you, as a contrast to that, when we travelled earlier on this year and we spent a month in Lanzarote, I felt calm, I felt serene, and I found just an enjoyment out of peace and quiet, some sunshine, relaxation. And what was no longer stirring me was that drive to go see a band and get to a gig. And so part of that I thought through was, is this an age factor? You know, I'm closing in on 50 in a couple of years. Life has changed a lot in the last year. Is it an age factor that you just outgrow it? But then I look around the audience of people standing around me at the gig and I see older people than me attending these festivals. So I wonder, what's different for them versus me? Is this just, you know, one of these moments where you do go through change, or has grief actually impacted the way I feel about things? And I think it's that. And so again, you know, I look through comments on these videos And I see how many people tell me I lost my father, I lost my mother, I've lost both my parents, I've lost somebody close, a husband, a brother, a sister, you know, child. I see the comments from people and how you feel about it all. And so, as somebody that's fairly vocal about these topics, shares my feelings and thoughts, I thought this is another good topic to cover, because I know there will be people questioning themselves inside their minds, like, is this me? Am I still in the grips of grief? Am I changing as I age? And so I wanted to share this with you and let you know that I feel like this is normal and part of the process, that you will change, and that it's embracing what's new and not worrying about the old. I'm not stressing about those festivals or bands or anything. I'm just content in the mindset that I'm moving into something new, a new chapter of my life, and rather than worry about the old, the past, trying to think positively about the future. And that's why I wanted to say this on this video, because it's important to try and stay on the right side of your thought process, the right side in your mind, the outlook each day, because it can be very all-consuming to suddenly feel like, I can't get out of my bed today, I can't get up and do this, I don't want to go to work, because you're carrying all of this weight. But shifting that mindset to thinking about something new, positives, it's like how I think about this channel. I get such enjoyment from making these videos and talking to people in the comments, that this is what I look towards, rather than thinking about, I'm losing part of my character by no longer going to these festivals. So I just wanted to share that with you. It is okay to embrace change whilst you are processing grief. It is normal. So that's my thought for today. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this. And have a great day, look at the sunshine, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.